I've been in exile in Mozambique. It was a fantastic time there. Newly independent, I'm back in Africa after 11 years exile in cold London. Fantastic people, great anti-apartheid movement, but now I'm back in Africa with our problems, our people, our music, our songs. And I'm marching in the streets and we're singing the freedom songs and we're shouting Viva and Samora Machel, fantastic leader, had been a hospital nurse, he first became the president. And one of his most powerful statements was, for the nation to live, the tribe must die. It seemed very powerful. And they would shout, down with the Baishu. Imperialism, colonialism, tribalism. Tribalism was seen as the enemy of the unity of the people. The Portuguese had encouraged tribalism. The resistance movement had created the notion of Mozambicaneity, to be a Mozambican. You weren't Shangaan, you weren't Makonde, you weren't Nyanja, you were a Mozambican fighting for freedom. And Samora spoke about, it was in the liberated zones, he said, when a Nyanja speaker is digging the soil, the sweat pouring down his back, next to a Ronga speaker, next to a Gikuyu speaker, that's when national unity is created. You're working together for a common end. For the nation to live, the tribe must die. He would even, when it came to appointing governors for the different provinces, he would deliberately send somebody who didn't speak the local language to emphasize that these are not, as he would see it, feudal areas. And the argument was, Portuguese had been the language of the oppressor, but we took the language away from the oppressor. We made it the language of national unity, the language of liberation. That enabled people speaking the different indigenous languages to communicate through Portuguese and achieve national unity. And it seemed to be very powerful. And we thought, that's fantastic. It's one thing to say, tribalism must die, in the sense of people having an identity that is bound up simply with the language community to which you belong. That takes over your soul, your spirit, everything that you do. That's hierarchical, patriarchal, negative in so many ways. But there's a culture, there's a connection with the landscape, there's an historical experience bound up very much with your ethnicity. And the people I knew who were discussing language and teaching linguistic studies at the Eduardo Mondlane University were saying Samora is wrong. Samora is wrong. We must have multilingualism. I remember Luis Bernardo Honwana, the Minister of Culture, who wrote beautiful short stories in Portuguese. His home language would have been Ronga, Shangaan, similar to Shangaan. Saying after 500 years, we used to speak about 300 years. They were colonized even earlier. After 500 years, Portuguese has become an African language. It's been used by African people on our soil for 500 years. But it shouldn't be the single language. It shouldn't be the official language. It shouldn't be a language that's somehow given a prestige and a status through the Constitution over and above the other languages of the people.